And now for your Grizzly seniors. When their name is called, each senior will present a bouquet of flowers in the middle of the mat to a person or persons who has been influential in their wrestling career. Our first senior was a 3-year wrestler. In addition to wrestling, he was an active member of the Boy Scouts of America and is in the process of achieving his Eagle Scout rank. After graduation, he plans to enlist with the United States Army. He will present his flowers to Coach Alex Paraskevas, Senior J.P. Kissel. Our next senior has been a 2-year wrestler and is our varsity 195 this season. In addition to wrestling, he was a member of the Student Council and the National Honor Society, as well as the Movement and Dance Company. Next month, he will be in the production of Crazy for You, as well as the Spring Gala. After graduation, he plans to study biomedical engineering at a 4-year college. He will present his flowers to his mom, Amy, Senior Eli Antonella. Our next senior has been a 4-year wrestler and is a co-captain and is our varsity 132 this season. He placed 5th at the Division II tournament last season. In addition to wrestling, he was a 4-year volleyball player and a member of the National Honor Society. After graduation, he plans to study mechanical engineering at UNH. He will present his flowers to his mom, Leanne, his sister, Annalise, and his grandparents. Senior co-captain Noah Rapazzo. Our final senior has been a 4-year wrestler, is a co-captain, and is our varsity 126 this season. He placed 1st at the Division II tournament and 1st at the Meet of Champions tournament last season. In addition to wrestling, he was a 4-year member of the Student Council, the current student representative for the Goffstown School Board, and a wrestling coach volunteer at the Doughboys Wrestling Club. After graduation, he plans to attend a 4-year college and continue his wrestling career. He will present his flowers to his mom, Katie, and his dad, Craig. Senior co-captain Jack St. Jean.
tonight's duel. It's actually senior night tonight, so an extra special night. Hollis-Brookline is in town wrestling the Grizzlies. Tonight's match will start at 145 pounds. We're going to see Andrew McCarthy for the Grizzlies, and it looks like they're going to be sending out junior Scott Nesser. Should be a closely contested duel tonight. Hollis-Brookline and Goffstown match up pretty well with each other, so it should come down to just a few points, maybe separating the two. Bonus points are going to be big tonight. Just like the duel against Wyndham, bonus points were big. Bonus points will be big tonight. Some hard ties going in the center of the mat. McCarthy doesn't want to rush in. He wants to circle just like he's doing right there. Nice job. Head on the inside single there for Hollis-Brookline. Finishes off with a double. Looks like he might get two here and does. Got to be smart. Got to know where he is. Gets a restart. So nice job for McCarthy getting a restart there. Nice level change by Scott and Esser. Looks like they're going to go neutral as he's indicating to the ref. So they're going to go up. He's going to give up a point. Possibly want to play a takedown game. McCarthy's got to be a little bit better on those level changes. Looks like Nesser just went, he went from one level to the other just like he did there. And McCarthy did a good job getting his hips back. Nice job getting a shot in on there. Looks like he's got a head on the inside single. Looks like he had a double, switched off to a single. Hollis-Brookline might have a three-quarter and did. Turn that three-quarter into a turn. He's going to have two and back points. Try not to get the fall here. If you're McCarthy, you got to fight off your back. Does a good job fighting off his back. Do not want to get pinned. Don't want to give up pin points. Does not want to get into a throw situation where he just did. He got up, got into a throw situation. Doesn't look like he's in a good situation right now. He's going to pick up the pin for Hollis-Brookline. So that's a quick 6-0 start for Hollis-Brookline. Again, bonus points are going to be big. So any pins, techs, majors, those are all going to be big points for team points. So Goffstown giving up 6 points right off the bat, moving into 152 pounds. Hollis-Brookline is going to be sending out senior Cam Lampierre. And for your Grizzlies is going to be Emilio Barrier. Emilio's got to have a big match here. Cam, one of their seniors, veteran wrestler. Got to be able to match that intensity. Nice job getting into a head on the outside single there, almost like a high crotch. Kind of missed it there. Eli actually has a Emilio's got a really good high crotch. Sometimes he has trouble finishing, getting to the corner. He's usually pretty quick going from level 1 to level 2, getting in on that high crotch, but finishing has been his issue this season. So working on finishing, getting around the corner. Gave up an early takedown, got an escape, so we're 2-1 here. Nice job getting to that outside single. Can't get to the leg, and there's just going to be a snap and go for Cam Lapierre. Looks like Cam's going to play the takedown game as well, so that's going to be 4-2. 2 takedowns, 2 escapes. Got some hand fighting going again. Emilio doesn't want to be pressuring in, wants to circle. Nice job getting to that single there. Again, getting to the single, got to finish. Don't want to stop on your shots. And he's going to give up another 2, so that's going to be 6-2. 6-3, giving up another escape with 36 seconds left to go in the first period. Looking for that outside single is Cam for Hollis-Brookline. Got some hand fighting going in the center. Emilio's getting back to the center, so does a good job getting back to the center. Kind of didn't use his space there. It was way too outside for that shot. And he's going to give up a head on the outside single here. Nice little crackdown. Nice takedown for Cam Lapierre. That's going to bring us 8-3 for the end of this first period. Again, Goffstown down 6-0 on team points. They're down 8-3 in this match. Looks like Coach Devrient wants Emilio to go down at the start of the second period. Gets an escape here and a takedown. He's right back in the match, but got to be finishing those takedowns. Nice job getting his hips out. Instead of getting an escape, goes right to the single. Might want to finish off with a double there, but Hollis-Brookline does a good job of getting his hips back. Got to get the 1 there. I know Emilio was trying to go for 2, getting a reversal, but got to get the 1. Looks like he might get turned here. No back points yet, and now he's starting to count. Again, don't want to get pinned. Emilio's got to try to fight off that. And he's going to pick up the pin at 152 pounds. So right off the bat, probably not the start that Goffstown wanted. They're down 12-0, moving into 160 pounds. Again, not the start that they wanted, but on the matches that Goffstown is going to win, they need pinpoints, they need majors, they need techs. So the matches that they have mismatches in, they got to win big. And the matches that are going to be close, Goffstown's got to try to pull those out. So that's going to bring us up to 160 pounds. You have junior Robbie Dwyer for Hollis-Brookline and junior Esteban Cabello. So the battle of the juniors here. Esteban, super, super strong wrestler. Getting into the groove of things with technique. So for him at the start of the season, had no issues with strength. Strength is what his strongest suit was. The only issues he had was technique. Nice job getting his hips back there on that shot. Again, I'd like to see Cabello. Again, that shot getting too extended. Does a good job of pulling the legs in, but when you're shot and extended there, you're going to get snapped and spun, and that's exactly what Cabello did. Got snapped and spun and got taken down. So it's going to be 2-0. Does not want to try to get into there. Doesn't want to go to expose his back. Does not want to give up back points. Could stand up right there. Doesn't look like the Hollis-Brookline wrestler has anything. Does a nice job getting an escape and right to his back. And this is where his strong suit is. He's got really good hips. Does a nice job of getting to his back there. He's got to lift up on the head. If he can arch the head, step over. He needed to step over. Keep on straddling his partner there. He did a good job of straddling. He kind of let his leg off. Needed to keep that and arch up on the head. That's going to put your opponent's shoulders to the mat. And again, he does not want to get into a roll position. He doesn't want to get into a roll match. So he's going to pick up a reversal, 3 points for the near fall. So that's going to be 5. And I think he got the Hollis-Brookline got a reversal. It should be 5-4. So yeah, they have it at 5-4. Cabello's going to be down with 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Again, Cabello, super strong, got good hips, did a really good job of turning his opponent there, but got to keep him, got to get that pin there. Got a tight waist ankle on top, got to go to that ankle, got to peel the ankle off and go to it. Looks like Hollis-Brookline might just ride Cabello out of bounds. Again, when your opponent has your ankle like that, you want to go to it, sit to it, peel the ankle off and go. Get that hand control. Doesn't look like Cabello's going to do that. They're both going to go out of bounds with 7 seconds left. Could be a big point. If Esteban could get an escape here with 7 seconds left, he'll be up 6-4 going into the second period. That could be a big point for him. Going to have a quick start. Had a quick start, but again, went to the ankle. He's got to get off of that ankle. He's got to get the hand down. He's got to go to that ankle and peel that off. So we're going to finish the first period. A good first period for Esteban. Almost picked up the pin. That would have been huge for Goffstown. Again, momentum right now is in Hollis-Brookline. Esteban is going to have the call there in the second period. He's going to defer to Hollis-Brookline. Hollis-Brookline is going to choose down. So Esteban, if we get to a third period, we'll have choice in the third period. So he's got to watch his height. Doesn't want to be above the elbows. Wants to be behind the elbows. Work some hand control. Looks like he might have a 2-on-1 on top. Let go of that. Coach is in a corner talking about a Western hook. And then he's got to go for a half. I think he's got it. Let go of it. So almost had the half, and he doesn't want to get turned here. He wants to belly out. Going to have to belly out and does. So he did a good job of bellying out. He's going to give up the reversal, but again, you don't want to give up back points in that position. So he's going to give up 2. That's going to put us at 7-6 in favor of Hollis-Brookline. Minute and 15 seconds left to go in the second period. He's working a cradle up on top. Nice job of Esteban keeping his head up. He's got to work hand control here. Doesn't want to get hippie. Doesn't want to try and do any rolls. Work your stand-ups. He's going to get turned here. He's got a 2 count. Maybe a 3 count, but that's going to be 2 points near fall. That's going to bring us to 8-5. I think they might have the score wrong. It was 6-5 going into that period. So it should be 7-9, 9-6. They have 8-5 on the score. I'm not sure that that's right. That should be out of bounds. That should be out of bounds. So he did make the good call there. New rule now. When the opponents are out of bounds like that, if the opponent on top, his knees are up, that's out of bounds. If his knees are down, that's inbounds. So it's kind of a new rule. It's kind of a weird rule because you could do a takedown and have your knees up, drag your feet, and that'll be 2 points. But new rule instituted, so ref doing a good job being on top of that. 30 seconds left to go in the second period. It's going to be Esteban's choice in the third. We got to get to the third period here. Does not want to give up pinpoints. Be down 18-0. Goffstown right now down 12-0. Got to keep facing him. Does a really good job of facing him. Got to be quicker on that. Wants to face his opponent. Work your stand-up. Work hand control. 10 seconds left to go. Doesn't want to give up any back points. He's got to try to keep his elbow pinched there so his opponent can't get in. And that's going to do it for the second period. Esteban's going to be down. I can see both coaches aren't sure what to do, but they're going to go neutral here in the third period. They don't want to go underneath, possibly getting Esteban turned. So they're going to go neutral. Let's see how much gas in the tank Esteban has. Again, a strong wrestler, but sometimes with really strong wrestlers, sometimes they don't have as much conditioning. One of Esteban's, I could say maybe his Achilles heel this season has been late in the third, trying to find that gas. So doesn't want to be up top here. See how he has his elbows up, if you can see. That's not where we want to be. We want to be nice and elbows in. We don't want to get tossed. They can snap, toss us. So we don't want to get tossed on that tie. Elbows in, nice and tight. Does a good job of getting to that leg. Got to finish. Got to finish. Got to go off to a double and finish this. Okay, so it looks like I couldn't see from where I was, but it looked like Esteban might have been holding maybe the headgear. I couldn't see from where I am where he was calling it, but head on the outside single and finishes. Esteban's going to get taken down. Minute and 15 seconds left to go. On the scoreboard, they have 11-5. It's going to be 11-6 here, but I'm not 100% sure that that is a correct score. So again, you can see on those shots there, and that's exactly why he snapped and spun there. We don't want to shoot down. We want to shoot through our opponent. If we shoot down, they can just snap and go. And that's exactly what he was doing. Emilio, sort of the same thing. When he was shooting, he was stopping. We don't want to shoot and stop. We want to have continuous motion. So one more time on that shot with Esteban. It's a tired shot. He's shooting down into the mat. We don't want to be shooting down and into the mat. We're just going to get snapped and spun all day. It looks like he might get some more back points. If Esteban can possibly get his hips up and turn in, could have something, but doesn't. Just think he's a little bit too tired here. They're going to be picking up a major decision. So that's going to bring our score to 16-0 at the end of 3 matches. So again, a huge hole that Goffstown is going to be in. If Esteban can turn here and get him to his back, he might have something. He does turn, but doesn't get him to his back. There's only a few seconds left. Possibly a turn here would have been nice, but again, if he could have finished in that first period, that would have been huge. Unfortunately, he didn't, and he is going to get majored. So that is going to be a 16-0 deficit for the Grizzlies on senior night. Obviously, you want to win every night, but senior night makes it more important, especially honoring 2 captains tonight. Jack St. Jean, Noah Rapazzo being honored tonight. So again, you want to win every night. You want to win every home duel, and especially you want to win your senior nights. That's going to bring us to 170 pounds. Hollis-Brookline sending out junior Robbie Dwyer. Grizzlies are sending out, Hollis-Brookline is sending out Zach Brickner, junior Zach Brickner, and David Gibson. David Gibson's already in on a shot. He's having a great start to the season, great season so far. Nice job getting 2 there. Nice shot and good finish. Want to see big points for Gibson if he can. So he's riding a tight waist. Heavy on that tight waist. Looks like he might be going to a Washington ride where he's got a tight waist working down on the wrist there. You can see his head in the armpit. He wants to kind of suck his head underneath there and look for a half. Almost looked like he was going to suck his hand underneath him. It looks like he's going for a bar on the outside, but couldn't get that either. Doing a good job working his hand control up on top. 2-0 with just over a minute left to go in the first period. Nice job controlling him, taking him down. So again, Gibson having a nice start to the season. Took fourth at the Timberlane tournament. So probably, again, as far as New Hampshire goes, Timberlane, Cap City, which we have back-to-back. Cap City we have this weekend. Back-to-back really big, tough tournaments for New Hampshire. And David had a really good showing. Gibson had a really good showing. He's going to get some fall points here. And again, want to finish. If we get our opponent to the back tonight, we have to finish. He's going to want to suck his arm underneath his opponent's head if he can. Lift up on his elbow. Nice job of getting on that chin. Thought he was going to have that turn there, getting on that chin. 20 seconds left to go. 5-0 in favor of Gibson. Pinpoints here are big. Again, Goffstown down 16-0 heading into this match. And it looks like Gibby just hooked the Western, attacking that far side there. Doing a nice job of riding tough. That's going to do it for this first period. 5-0, a good first period for Gibson. Hollis-Brookline's going to defer to Goffstown. Looks like Coach Paraskevas wants Gibson to go down. Hollis-Brookline will have choice in the third if we get there. So let's see what Gibson has in the second period. Coach Devrian telling Gibson to explode up. Did a really good job of exploding up. It didn't get hand control, didn't clear our arms. Looks like he's Mike going for a switch there and does. Gets 2-point reversal, so that's going to be 7-0 in favor of Gibson. Hooking in that leg. Again, working hand control, so doing a nice job of riding. Going for that far arm. Going to want to swim back if you can. Side riding up on top is Gibson. Nice job controlling that arm there on that sit out. Opponent sits outs or switch. We want to kind of attack the arm. Might work for a tilt there, but couldn't. Or a stack. Wrestling on the edge of the mat. Hollis-Brookline probably wants to get a restart. We're just going to cut him there. And it's going to be 7-1 with just over a minute to go in the second period. Hand fighting in the center of the mat. Again, shot down there, so Gibson's going to want to take control of that. Reshot, nice job. So working on those reshots. No, Goffstown's been working on those reshots all practices, a few weeks. Your opponent goes in on a shot and kind of just stands up. We reshoot, and that's exactly what Gibson did there. I would have transferred over to a double. Cut the corner and finish that shot. 7-1. If he can get two here, that'll be 9-1. They're going to get a stalemate. 9-1 will bring them into a major decision. Again, bonus points are going to be big. Hollis-Brookline had back-to-back-to-back bonus points. They had 2 pins and a major, which brought them to 16. High crotch for Hollis-Brookline. Gibson does a nice job of defending that. Now, if I'm Gibson, I can watch my opponent's body language. He looks a little tired, so Gibson doing a nice job of hurrying up back to the center of the mat. Sometimes wrestling is just a mental game. If your opponent knows you're not tired, and they are, sometimes they can break mentally. So that's what we want to do. We want to mentally break them in the third period. It looks like Gibson's going to be taken down at the end. It's bad, 2 points there at the end of that second period, 7-3. And it's going to be Hollis-Brookline's choice in the third period. They're probably going to choose down, I'm assuming. They might choose neutral. I would either go down or neutral. They're going to choose neutral. So let's see if Gibson could dig deep here. High crotch, nice job. Might have looked for a dump there. Again, shooting and stopping is not what you want to do. Want to try to go to that leg. So he's getting extended, which isn't what we want. Once we get extended, our opponent can peel our arm, which is exactly what he's doing. And he can probably snap and spin at this point. Gibson doing a good job of catching his hips. We want a circle face. We don't want to get tossed there, so elbows in if we do come up. Minute and 20 seconds left to go in the match. Don't want to get tossed here. If you give up 2, that's fine. You're still up 7-5. You want to get a win here. Bonus points would have been nice, but we need a win. And that is not what you want. You do not want to get fall points there. So give up the 2, which is what Gibson did. It looks like he's a little bit tired here. Wrestling a little bit tired, especially in the third period. Do not want to wrestle tired. Got to dig deep. Again, most matches are won in the third period, so let's see if Gibson could dig deep here. He does not want to get turned. Still a lot left to go in the third period, 40 seconds left. So Gibson, if he's tired, he's got to dig deep. Needs hand control, got to break the wrist. Want to sit through that. Could get a defensive pin. Could get a defensive pin, but doesn't. He's going to get fall points. Looks like he's going to get 2. That's going to tie the match. 7-7. Needs 1 point. So this is going to be big for the match. He needs a point. He needs to dig deep. He needs to get a point here for Goffstown. Again, 1 point is going to be big. 10 seconds left. We might see overtime in this match. Again, if Gibson does not want to go into overtime, he needs to get a late escape here. And I think we are going to see overtime. That's going to end the period. It's going to be 7-7. Huge points at the end for Hollis-Brookline. Got to hand it to him at 170. He was down 4, 5, 6 points, down to 7-1, I believe. We're going to see a 1-minute sudden death period. First points win. Obviously, takedown a win here. So they have 2 minutes on the board, so the ref is waiting right now for 1 minute to get on the board. Overtime is going to be 1 minute, not 2 minutes. So 1 minute, first takedown wins. Gibson's got to dig deep here. Circle, watch those shots, and he's going to get a quick shot. So it just looked like Gibson did not have much left to go in that third period, and that's unfortunate for Goffstown. That is a match that they were hoping to win, and they didn't. That's going to be big. So probably the worst case scenario that could have happened for Goffstown just did. They're down 19-0, and that could be a tough hole to climb out of, moving into 182 pounds. Kind of took the air out of the building right there with Gibson going, taking that loss. So that brings us to 182 pounds. Charlie Keith already in on a shot. He's going to be wrestling Owen McMillan. Obviously, pinpoints now is what you need almost every match. They have 19-0 on the board. Should be 20-0. No, that is right. For 6-12. Yep, that's right. 19-0 is the team score. So Gibson doing a good job of. Looks like he had one-on-one there. Maybe looking for a cross wrist series, which he has. Coming out, attacking that wrist. We call it a baseball bat. Might go cat's paw. Does. Nice job turning his opponent here. Got to pick up the fall if you're Charlie Keith. And I think he's gonna. So it looks like Charlie's going to pick up the fall and does. So gets a little momentum back into the Grizzlies' corner there. Momentum was huge for Hollis-Brookline. So that's going to bring us to 19-6. Again, the Gibson match was big. That's bringing us right to 195 pounds. If you can hear it from home, Antonello always comes in with some Johnny Cash. I always like that entrance. We're seeing senior Clement Sherwood for Hollis-Brookline. So, again, a win here would be big for Goffstown. They're down 19-6. They're gonna have to scrap for every match. Nice job of getting in on that single. Really nice job with Eli there, finishing that shot. Really quick level change. He's got to watch his height. A half is good, but if you don't have anything with it, and you're just coming out to the side like that, you could get turned, and that's exactly what he did. He got turned. He's got to get his hips up. So, again, you got to be careful with just throwing in that half. And I think Hollis-Brookline's going to pick up the pin and does. Eli showing his frustration, and that is going to be tough to deal with the duel. So not the night that Goffstown wanted. I mean, the duel's not over, but just not the duel that Goffstown wanted. 220 is going to be Andrew Wink for Hollis-Brookline. So this one's going to be tough. This one's going to be tough for the Grizzlies. Hollis-Brookline, probably one of their better wrestlers at Andrew Wink. He's already got a one-on-one and a half up on top. So thought Nate was doing a good job there, trying to escape that, but it looks like he's got it in pretty deep now. He's coming in, just got underneath that arm. And this is exactly what actually Esteban Cabello wanted to do. This is exactly the position that Cabello was in. He unfortunately wasn't able to finish in that position, and Andrew Wink did. So that's going to be some more pinpoints for Hollis-Brookline. So what Goffstown did there at 220, which we usually see Josh White, they were bumping Josh White from 220 to heavyweight. That's going to bring us 31-6 in team points. Mathematically, I would have to do some pretty quick math, but they pretty much need pinpoints to get back into this duel. So Josh White here definitely needs a pin at heavy. Obviously the 220-pounder, probably going to be the heavyweight next year. Nice job of getting to that single, switching off to a double. Looking for that half already. His opponent did a good job of getting his elbows in. Josh wrestling pretty tough on type, had some one-on-one it looked like. He's transferring over to far ankle, had a tight waist. Looking for a turn here. Nice job of riding on top. If you're Josh, you got to know where you are. You don't want your opponent to go out of bounds. You've got to pick up the pin if he can get the turn. Josh got to be careful locking hands there. See the coaches in the corner trying to strategize what's going to happen underneath. 106 pounds is going to be a forfeit. Hollis-Brookline didn't weigh anybody in, so that's going to be 6 points for Goffstown. So that's going to be an automatic forfeit. Alden Harvey, they are going to probably send out to take that forfeit. And then it looks like they're kind of trying to strategize what they're going to do next. Again, Josh White, you bump him because you have a mismatch. And if you have a mismatch, you're going to want to pick up those pins. So let's see if Josh can do just that on senior night. Ref's looking in to see if he can get some movement in on the Hollis-Brookline wrestler. Probably one of the most frustrating things that happen if you're on top is what exactly the Hollis-Brookline kid's doing on bottom is just balling up. We call it balling up on bottom, where he just kind of lays on his stomach, kind of puts his elbows in and doesn't do much. It's pretty frustrating if you're on top, but if you're Josh, you can't get frustrated. What you can do if you're on top is push his elbows out, and that'll get him a little off base. When you push his elbows out, then you can sneak underneath, possibly work a one-on-one, and that's exactly what he's doing. It looked like he did there. We can go to a power half there too, heavy on the neck, and sometimes that'll elevate the opponent's elbow. That's going to do it for the first period. Josh went in 2-0, and it looks like Coach Deviant wants to go neutral. Anytime you go neutral, you want to go feet to back, and that's exactly what Josh is looking to do, especially at a heavyweight. Heavyweight want to try to go feet to back. They're a little less likely to get to their bases quick. So he did a good job getting a shot. Then you got to automatically sync up for that half. Could have worked the Navy there, but didn't. Kind of pretty funny if you see a heavyweight work a Navy. Well, not funny, but you often don't see heavyweights work Navies too often. Might see it at the collegiate level, but not much at the high school level. So Josh doing a good job. Can't see from here. Looks like he might have some hand control. He's trying to go underneath. Again, if you're Hollis-Brookline, you're going out there, and it sounds bad, but you're going out there really just not to get pinned. And that might sound bad. Wrestling's a tough sport. It is what it is, but that's exactly his game plan. He's just there not to get pinned. So if you're Josh, you got to take that, and you got to do all you can to try to break your opponent. Nice job getting the one-on-one. Again, all his opponent's going to do is keep hipping down, keep going in. So I could see Coach Paraskevas on the mat there looking in. May just want to cut him and go to your feet and try to go feet to back. So 4-0 in favor of White. A win here is good, but you need a pin. He got his hand sunk under. If I'm the ref, I call it stalling. I mean, I would have called it in the first period. He's really not doing much. Josh is, as you can see from home, doing all the work. It's not that Josh is just kind of laying there on top. He's doing all the work. He's switching off from hands. He's doing a lot of work, and Hollis-Brookline's really not doing much. So, not for nothing, but definitely would have called a stall there. At least 2 is from what I see, but not getting the calls there. Again, you're not going to win a match on stall calls. We want to get a pin here, but just frustrating. It at least makes your opponent want to try to move. Hollis-Brookline doesn't really have any motivation to move, really, at this point. They can just stand there and just lay on the mat. They just don't want to get pinned. They're up 31-6 as far as a team score. That's pretty big. So that's going to do it for the second period. So that was going to be Hollis-Brookline's choice. They're going to choose top. Probably the theory there is just they don't want to get turned. I don't think he's going to hold Josh Rett down. So I think Josh is going to get up pretty easy, which he does. Clears his hips and gets out. So that's going to be 5-0. And again, Josh looking good. He's strong. He's got good conditioning. He's a rugby player, football, so really good conditioning. So I don't think a condition issue is going to be any issue. So I think it's just a matter of can he turn him. Nice job. Wasn't a great shot, but did a good job of getting to the legs again and finishing. Wasn't a good shot, but did a good job of finishing that shot. That's going to be 7-0. So needs one more point for a major, but again, pinpoints would be big here. You can hear Coach Detchen in the corner telling Josh to go to his feet. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go in the third period. Coach Defriant yelling, imploring him to let him up, and does. That's going to be 7-1. A takedown will give them a major, but again, they want pinpoints here. And again, I would have called stalling. The opponent's backing up at this point. To me, I think it's just a disservice to wrestling when you allow wrestlers to not wrestle. And officials, I'm not knocking the official. Nice job of getting to the turn there. Needed to reverse the half. I would have stepped over. I would have stepped over and went right to that half. So 30 seconds left to go. Josh kind of frustrated because he had his opponent on his back. Going to go back to his feet. Calling Josh to go big. And, I know I'm said it a few times, but for Hollis-Brookline in this match, if you're know anything about wrestling and you're watching this match, for Hollis-Brookline not to have a stall call is, to me, it's borderline embarrassing, but I guess that's just me. Josh going for a headlock there. He's going big. Didn't get the headlock. Got taken down. So they're going to go out of bounds. Again, the coaches were just telling Josh to go big there, and when you tell him to go big, you're looking for a headlock, maybe a cement mixer, just something to get your opponent on his back. A frustrating match for this one because I knew they were looking to take up pinpoints there. And, Hollis-Brookline had a good game plan to go in and not get pinned and stall the whole, relatively the whole match, and that's what they did. So from an outsider's perspective, frustrating to watch that match. Josh, obviously the better wrestler, just couldn't pick up the pinpoints. So that's going to be 31-9. And that is going to bring us all the way around to 106 pounds. They're going to pick up 6 points here, so it's going to be 31-12. So the way I'm doing the math, I mean, Hollis-Brookline, if they get one more win, this might be over. I'm trying to do the math real quick. Alden Harvey, freshman, taking up the forfeit there to give Goffstown another 6 points. So it's going to be 31-9, bringing us to 113 pounds. And Hollis-Brookline is sending out. So it's going to be freshman versus freshman. Freshman Jack Duval and freshman Brandon Demers. Big match for Demers. If we can get a win here, 31-15. That'll bring it to 31-18 if he just gets a win. So a win here would be big. Nice job getting to that leg. Head on the outside single. Just couldn't finish, but really nice job getting to that leg. Nice job clearing the elbow there, getting to that leg, finishing the shot. Just unfortunately finished it out of bounds. And you can see Demers does a really good job of level changing. Does a really good job of going side to side and level changing. Finishing the shots is, again, what the coaching staff have been working with Demers. He's outsized at 113 pounds. He's not a big 113 pounds for any stretch of the imagination. Usually weighs in at about 110, 111 pounds. Most 113-pounders are cutting weight to get down to 13, and Demers is not. So he's a little outsized, but as far as athleticism, definitely not outmatched in any match. Demers, really good athleticism, good technique, really good level changes. And again, you can see that right there, getting to that shot. On that head on the outside single, you don't want to be stuck underneath. You've got to get to the corner. You got to keep circling to that leg. You don't want to be stuck underneath. If you are stuck underneath, transferring over to the double and finishing. So we do not want to get stuck underneath there is what Demers did. Head on the outside single or head on the inside single. Got to get to the corner quick. Any shot, you got to get to the corner quick unless you're blast doubling them. Tommy Foote was known for that. Tommy Foote had no patience for getting to the corner. He just blast doubled people. Probably one of Goffstown's best wrestlers over the decades. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was actually at Williams College, where he had a really good career there as a heavyweight, and is on the coaching staff there at Williams. So nice job getting to that leg again. I would have cracked down there. I would have cracked down as once your opponent breaks his hip, crack down, step over, and could have finished the shot. Short time here in the first period, only a couple seconds left to go, so it looks like we're going to go into the second period 0-0. So he's clearing the elbow, he's getting in on the shot, he's just not getting to the corner. Hollis-Brookline is going to choose down to start the second period. Demers is going to start on top. Nice job getting hand control there, bumping his opponent forward. Looks like he's got a cross wrist series and might just give up one here, and does. So Jack Duval looks like he's got a 1-point lead, 1-0. Plenty of time left to go in the second period. No takedowns in the first period, so let's see if either of these wrestlers can get a takedown. Duval in on a shot, not a great shot, snap and spin there. Duval doing a good job of covering the hip on that spin. Again, getting in on the shot, could have went for a dump, just got to be quicker on the finishes. And again, getting on a head on the outside single, finishing off, there he goes, finishing off on the double, running out of space. He needs to finish off on that double. Head on the outside, either get to the corner, transfer over to a double, but needs a takedown. Nice low leg single off the whistle, and that's going to be 2 points. Really good aggressive wrestling there. Took advantage of his opponent, sitting back on his heels. That is smart wrestling for a freshman. Again, when you're a wrestler, you always want to watch body language. Looks like he's trying to go for a cradle, but again, when you're trying to go for a cradle, you don't want to get your head underneath the opponent. You want to get your forehead in the rib cage of your opponent. That's going to kind of condense their body down. You don't want to get your head underneath. So we call that bow and arrow. So you want to get your head on the inside, right just underneath his rib cage, and then you can kind of try to cradle him up. So really good shot. You know, you want to watch your opponent's body language. That's a smart wrestler. You watch your opponent's body language. You know, when I was wrestling, when I came back to the center, if my opponent was on his heels, I did just that what Demers just did there. Boom, you attack the low leg, and that's what he did and was able to finish. And it's going to give him a 2-1 lead with 34 seconds left to go in the second period. He's got a near ankle tight waist. 2-on-1 there. They're going to get ridden out of bounds. So when you're on top, you got to be careful of riding your opponent out of bounds. You don't want to get a stall call, so sometimes the refs will call that if you just keep on coming up, if the bottom wrestler keeps coming up and you keep going out of bounds. I would have hooked a Western here. And it looks like that's what they're calling for. He's got to finish on top. These are going to be big seconds for, he's got a 1-on-1.5. Let's see if he can lower his chest. Want to lower your chest here. And he does. Nice job lowering his chest. He's got 5 seconds. See if he can pick up the fall. Does a really good job of reloading. I don't think he's going to have time, though. He's going to run out of time. He's going to pick up 2 near fall points, but doesn't pick up a pin. Nice job of reloading. When we say reload, sometimes you get your height a little high on the half Nelson. So what you do is you kind of You can pull your opponent in and sink your chest and then reload and kind of pull your arm back through your opponent. That's what Demers did there, did a good job. They got the score wrong. No, they got the score right. So 4-1 in this third period. 1:52 left to go in the match. An escape here brings them to 5-1. And he does. Gets a nice escape, so that's going to be 5-1. Opponent in on head on the outside single. Demers doing a good job of knowing where he is, getting to the outside, not giving up 2 points. And you can see both wrestlers a little tired. Let's see who can finish strong. There's still 1:35 seconds left to go in the third period. Don't want to back up. Want to circle here. Doing a better job of circling. Don't want to pressure in either with our opponent. We want to circle. Look for those shots. Look for those gaps. Nice job of getting to the leg again, but has to finish. Got to get to the corner. Got to get to the corner. Nice job of finishing off on that double. They're going to go out of bounds. 1:13 as they go out of bounds. 5-1 in favor of Demers here. 31-15 in favor of Hollis-Brookline as far as team score. Level change is what you want. You want to have good level. Don't want to come up to our opponent's level. Looks like he was going for an outside. I'd bang for stalling, but don't. No, not going to get the stall call there with exactly a minute left to go in the third period. Again, tries to go off the whistle. Didn't have as much speed there, and that's why he couldn't finish. And they're going to go out of bounds. Both wrestlers tired. Both wrestlers kind of trying to breathe heavy, trying to get some oxygen back into their lungs. 5-1, 45 seconds left to go in the third. Again, you can see the shots just being that much slower in the third, and that's exactly why Brandon can't finish right now, is his shots, or he's just going to the shots instead of shooting through his opponent. Like to see him get a little bit lower on that level. Don't want to be up high. We call that a level 2. We don't want to be up high on our opponent. Just over 20 seconds left to go in the third period. Getting to that leg again. $20 seconds left to go. See if we can get one more shot. Hollis-Brookline in on a shot and could have an ice pick here. When you get your head on the chin, that's going to be 2. Unfortunately, couldn't drag his feet. Good call there by the ref. He had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I thought he was going to go for an ice pick where you get your head on the chin, go underneath the arm, and turn your opponent. Unfortunately, couldn't finish there. And he's going to clear the elbow there. Nice job, but can't finish. And that's going to do it for the match. 5-1 in favor of Demers. So a good win for him. Obviously want bonus points in any match. That's going to bring us 31-18 as far as a team score. Right into a 120 pounds. And we're going to have a tough contest here. Probably one of Hollis-Brookline's best wrestlers coming to the mat. Cameron Dreyer at 120 pounds. And sophomore Nathan Fowler. Nathan learning a lot this season, coming a long way, but wrestling against the senior that's been in the lineup for a few years. This is going to be a tough contest for Fowler. Fowler, not that he's not up to the contest, always is, always wrestles tough, always wrestles 3 periods. I think if Fowler stays with it, I think he's going to do great things his senior year. He's still got a couple years left to go on the mat. Fowler's got good conditioning, never really gets tired. So a win here will bring him to 34-18. So yeah, this match unfortunately is out of Goffstown's control. We started at 145 pounds. That's going to be a 2-point takedown for Dreyer. We started at 145 pounds, so there's only 3 matches left to go after this. The most Goffstown can finish off with would be 36 points after this match, unless Fowler can pull a nice little upset here. If he can not get pinned, that would still put this match within grasp, but they would need pins in every single weight. I think this match really where it took a turn would be the 170-pound match. With Gibson losing that match, he was up 7-1. And losing that match was big as they go out of bounds with 38 seconds left to go in the first period. So that was a big swing match for Hollis-Brookline. Looks like Coach Bumpus in the corner is telling his wrestler to go neutral. So that's exactly what they're going to do. It's going to be 2-1, 38 seconds left to go in the first period. So again, tough stretch right now for the wrestling season. Came off a tough Timberlane tournament. Obviously have the duel tonight with a really tough Hollis-Brookline team. Got the Cap City Classic on Saturday in Concord. Nice job getting to the leg by Fowler. Looks like the Hollis-Brookline has a 3/4 on top. He's looking for a snap and spin and is going to get to the ankle. Fowler doing a good job of facing the opponent. Doesn't get to. Nice job, Fowler, there. Nice job not giving up points. So Hollis-Brookline with choice. They're going to choose down to start the second period. So, again, Saturday, really tough tournament with the Cap City. That's going to actually end the tournament run for Goffstown this season. With the exception of obviously states and then MOCs and New England's. But besides those tournaments, no more tournaments left. So we've got the Cap City on Saturday. Back-to-back duels. I think they're going to Conval next week, all the way to Conval, which is a long road trip. It's actually where the Division II state championships will be in a few weeks in February. And then the duel after that will be at Merrimack. And that'll be the last duel of the season as they go out of bounds. Minute and 35 seconds left to go in the second period. Fowler's going to still be on top. Coach Detchen in the corners telling Fowler to slow the match down. And what that means is just kind of keeping the match simple. Don't need to do anything crazy. Just stick with what you know as a top wrestler. So sometimes that's just as simple as a tight waist and ankle. Fowler's just riding a spiral ride there where we go underneath the arm and our other arm is kind of like inside the thigh. The purpose of that is just extending the opponent. And it looks like Dreyer's going to pick up an escape. That's going to bring him to 3-1 with a minute and 17 seconds left to go in the second period. Hand control again. I'd like to see a little bit movement from Fowler on his feet. And you can see when you don't have movement, that's what's going to happen. That was close to being 2. Didn't call it. It said they were out of bounds. So if you're Goffstown, you're happy about that. Minute and 7 seconds left to go, 3-1. So again, Dreyer doing a good job of getting to the ankle. I'd like to see a crossface here. He's going to get 2 there, so that's going to bring him to 5-1 as they go out of bounds yet again. Coming back to the center. Again, the one thing you got to love when you watch Fowler wrestle is just the determination that he has in every single match. So it doesn't matter who he's wrestling. He's going to give you 100%, and that's what you can always count on with Fowler. He's going to want to try to stay away from any fall points, try to move a little bit more on bottom, try to get some hand control, work back to your base, and then try to get an escape. So his opponent looking for a bar on that side. He's got a tight waist. He's trapping the arm. Looks like he might try to bar that up on that far side. Or the near side for him, our far side, depending on where the camera angle is. Can't really tell right now what he has. Yeah, he's still got that arm barred up. Don't want to hip over that. So you want to just hip down, not hip over. If you hip over, you get tilted, get stacked. And that's going to bring us to the end of the second period. 5-1 in favor of Hollis-Brookline here. Couldn't see whose choice it was in the second. It was So it was Goffstown's choice in a second. They deferred, so now it's Goffstown's choice again, so they're going to choose top. The kind of theory behind that, or why they want to do that, is going underneath, sometimes you can get turned. Fowler's a pretty good wrestler on top. Can't get turned on top unless the opponent rolls us. Want to try to maybe hook a Western there, but does not want to get his hips down on the mat. Wants to keep his hips up. So now you got to want to try to circle to that leg, in which he does. Hook the leg, hook a Western there on that top. His opponent's going to try to want to do the same thing. They want to step over that leg, hook the leg. Now if you're in this position, you want to work, if you can, get some head pressure. You want to try to keep that ankle. He just let go of it. You always want to keep your hips up. You never want to keep your hips down. So you can see he got his hips down and then hips right back up again. Fowler doing a really good job of just getting his hips back up. Wants to try to get to the corner, get over and step over that ankle if he's on top. This position right here takes a lot of conditioning out of both opponents, actually. Bottom opponent is really doing a hard job of gripping that leg and working back and into his opponent, trying to get a reversal. And the top opponent is just trying to get back his hips up, and that takes a lot of energy. So he's going to get reversed, and they're going to get some blood time. I think it was Fowler who is bleeding, but I am not 100% sure. So we got some blood time here, so they're going to take a little bit of a break. Once the mat is cleaned up, if there's any blood on it, they'll get some of the blood off the mat. And then they'll obviously get all the blood off of both opponents. And then we'll regain the third period. So 33 seconds left to go in the third period. It's 7-1. Kind of the nice thing about a break in this match is that you can get a little bit more oxygen back into your lungs. You can take a little water in, which is always nice. Sometimes your muscles get that lactic acid built up where you really don't have much water density in your muscles. It's kind of hard to grip at that point. And that might have been happening to either wrestler. So you get some water, get some hydration in there, get some oxygen, and then both coaches can obviously both coaches can obviously give some last-minute tips to their wrestlers as well during blood time. So I'm sure Coach Detchen gave them some tips, what to look for, what to watch out for, and I'm sure Coach Bumpus on Hollis-Brookline side did the same for his wrestler. They're looking for major points here. So they're looking, like in the 220-pound match with us, with Josh White, he was looking for pinpoints, tech points, anything like that. Couldn't get there. Hollis-Brookline wants to have that done here. So really important now for Fowler. He doesn't have any stall calls. He's got to be cognizant of that. He's got to know that. So if we have to, elbows in, buckle down. We don't want to get our hips sloppy, and we don't want to get turned. So if you need to, for the team, you just belly down and do not take any fall points, and that's exactly what Fowler's going to do. For me, watching this match, I'm happy with how Fowler wrestled that. He's wrestling a really tough senior, one of Hollis-Brookline's best wrestlers on the team, and did a really good job. He lost, but did a good job of keeping the damage under control. And that is going to bring us to 126 pounds. Senior versus senior. So that's going to also bring our team score 34-18. Not out of reach, but Goffstown needs all three matches to be pins. Jack St. Jean coming off a tough Timberlane tournament where he took first, wrestled a really tough Southington kid in the finals, and did a really good job of winning that match. Nice quick takedown for Jack St. Jean. He's wrestling senior Savannah Eliza. It looks like he has a bar there. He's going to step over. What he wants to try to do is step over the head. Juice that arm up on top. And when we say juice it, you want to kind of try to get the elbow down to the mat. So he did a good job of stepping over, juicing that elbow. He's going to attack the far arm, which he has. Sometimes hard to pick up a pin, but you can also come back, step over your opponent which is what he did. And you can reload. St. Jean known for cradles, which, as I'm saying that, he just went in for a cradle. So you want to get your head in your opponent's temple, and that's exactly what looks like Jack St. Jean's doing. I think he's going to pick up the fall and does. So nice job with St. Jean there, picking up the fall on senior night. Obviously, you want to win every night, especially on senior night in front of your home crowd. So St. Jean, last match he is going to wrestle in this gym. And that's always an emotional night, no matter who you are. So this is going to be the last time that Noah Rapazzo steps on the mat in his home gym for the Grizzlies, as well, as we come to 132 pounds. Nice job of finishing that double. Really nice job. Goes right up to the half is Noah Rapazzo. On senior night, obviously wants to get a huge statement win here for the Grizzlies. 34-24 team score, so not out of reach. Goffstown down by 10. They need 6 and 4 to tie the match, to tie the duel. So a pin and a tech will get them the win. 2 pins will get them the win. A pin and just a win will not do it, so they need pin points. So Rapazzo, nice job getting in on that shot. 2-0 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go in the first period. Again, your team score 34-24. They're going to let them go to neutral 2-1. Noah's got a really good shot. Gets in really quick. And when he does finish, he fishes for that half and sometimes can go feet the back. So I'm sure the coaches have told him that. I'm sure the coaches want him to do that. Be quick there and maybe reshot. You can see the Hollis-Brookline wrestler did a good job of staying down on his level. Didn't come up. Once you see your opponent shoot, then come up. That's when you can reshot. Coach Debriant telling Noah Rapazzo to elbow pass. But did a good job of stepping through that leg. He's going to get some back points here. Looking for the half and gets it in. He's got to sink his hips back down. And doesn't. So he's going to get a takedown and 3 points. So that's a 5-point move for Rapazzo. That's going to be 7-1 with 24 seconds left to go in the first period. So again, on that half, if you can see it from home where he was, his hips were high, too far over his opponent. We want to sink our hips back down. Chest on chest is what we call it in wrestling. So you want to have your chest on your opponent's chest. Obviously, most of your weight is on your chest, and that's where we want to put most of our weight, is on our opponent's chest to get his shoulders down to the mat and get a pin. So that's going to do it for this first period. 7-2 would be your match score. Goffstown's going to have choice. They're going to defer. Hollis-Brookline is going to choose down. It's going to be Rapazzo's choice in the third. Rapazzo's going to start on top. So again, for this match, need a pin. And it's going to be a tough task because the Hollis-Brookline wrestler, Hunter Hudzig, just a freshman, but tough. Wrestling tough on top is Noah. Looks like he's got that one-on-one on that far side, barring it up on that near side. Nice job, hand control. Got to get his hips up there. Got to get his hips up. Does not want to get his hips down. Does not want to get into a throw. So sometimes get into a throw position. And that's exactly what he tried to do there. Actually had a nice outside trip there. Outside leg trip. But sometimes when we get into that upper body match, it could be anybody's game. Whereas if we just play the shooting match, the better wrestler usually prevails. So Noah's just got to watch getting into a tossing match here. A toss would be good, but he obviously wants to do the tossing, does not want to be tossed to his back. 7-3 with 50 seconds left to go. And Noah doing a good job of getting his hips back. Looking to go big there, but didn't. Looks like he might have a cradle locked up. So he's going to have a 9-3. 9-3 in favor of him. Looks like he might have a ball and chain there coming underneath. 30 seconds left to go in the second. 9-3 as a team, as a match score. 34-24 as a team score. So a win here puts the duel out of reach for Goffstown. They need to have a tech or a pin. So it's 9-3. You need a score of a 15 differential score for a tech. He's got to step over there. Got to keep his hips in. And they're going to go out of bounds. 14 seconds left to go. Coach Devery in the corner telling Noah Rapazzo that they need 6 as a team. So, you know, wrestling is an individual sport. You obviously want to win individually, but it's also a team sport. So just because you win doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you needed to do for the team. Sometimes you need those pins, you need those techs, or you need those majors. So, yes, Noah's winning this match, but as a senior, as a captain, he's got to dig deep here and try to pick up 6. Coach Deverient wants Noah Rapazzo to go neutral. Both wrestlers pretty tired. See if Noah can take advantage of his time on the mat. He's a senior, just wrestling a freshman. So sometimes, you know, as a freshman wrestling under the lights, your intensity level kind of picks up. Sometimes that gasses you a little bit quick. Rapazzo looks a little tired here. He's got to try to dig deep. Minute and 38 seconds left to go in the third period. Looks like Hollis-Brookline doing all the shooting, so Rapazzo's got to watch that. Doesn't want to get a stall call. Front headlock series, could look for a cement mixer. Kind of what he's looking for. Where he gets your head on, your arm on the chin, your hand on the chin, your other arm underneath the elbow, and kind of throw your opponent. Call that an ice pick. So he's going to pick up 2 here and needs a fall. Thought he was going to have the turn, but didn't. It's going to be 11-3. Minute left to go. So he's got a minute to go to work. So again, the big matches for me tonight, if it comes down to just a couple point loss for Grizzlies, would be your match at 170 pounds, that swing match with David Gibson losing for the Grizzlies, and then your match at 220 pounds where Josh White could not pick up the fall. To me, that was the most frustrating one. The Gibson loss was frustrating. The Josh White one was even more frustrating because the Hollis-Brookline wrestler was just stalling. So that's going to be 1 point escape for Hollis-Brookline, bring our score to 11-4. Again, it doesn't matter at this point. If you just get a win, the duel is over. Need to go feet to back with 30 seconds left to go. And he's trying to go big here, trying to go big. Looks like he has a headlock locked up. And now he's got to finish. He's got to walk to the head, get his hips up. Walk to the head and finish. Walk to the head and finish. And he does. He walking to the head, doing a good job of walking to the head. Can he pick up the fall points? Can he pick up the fall points? From where I'm seeing, that's a fall. That's a fall right there. His shoulders are down. His shoulders are down. That's a fall point. And he doesn't pick up the fall. Wow. That is another frustrating one on the call. I don't know how much more flat you can have your opponent. That is a tough one. That is a real tough one to take if you are the Grizzlies and if you are Noah Rapazzo. Couldn't get more flat than that, and unfortunately did not get the call there. So that is an unfortunate no call, as we call it in wrestling. So the duel for point purposes is over. It's 34-27 with John Irwin, freshman, coming up at 138 pounds. He's wrestling freshman Hunter Hudzig. So freshman against freshman here. They have 34-28 as a team score, so I might have miscalculated. So they have 34-28, so technically it is within reach. They need a pin from Josh Irwin. A lot to ask for a freshman to come out on senior night in front of a big crowd and, wrestling under the mat. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here. They go to criteria if the match ends 34-34, if Josh Irwin does, if he is able to pick, or John Irwin, sorry, if he's able to pick up the pin here. They go 34-34, and then it goes to criteria. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. So John Irwin doing a good job of circling. Again, just a freshman. He's been kind of in and out of the varsity lineup at 138 pounds. Over the next couple of years, expecting John Irwin to do some pretty good things for the Grizzlies. As a freshman, it's always tough to wrestle in the varsity lineup. Still trying to come down from that Rapazzo match. I think he did a really good job of doing all he could with 30 seconds left. He went for the headlock, got it, and to me, got the pin. Irwin doing a good job of getting to the leg. Got to finish from here as they go out of bounds. So from the beginning, I knew it was going to be a close match. So those swing points are big. The Gibson match, there's a 6-point swing, 3 points in favor of Hollis-Brookline, 3-point deficit for the Grizzlies. So that's a 6-point swing right there. So, just right there, that's a tie match going into this match. Hollis-Brookline's going to defer in the second period, so they're going to have choice in the third. And Coach Paraskevas wants John Irwin to go down to start the second period. So it'd be frustrating to kind of lose this match by a couple points. Wrestling's a tough sport. Anything can happen, but it's still kind of frustrating. Irwin doing a good job of getting to his feet. Got to peel the hands and clear your hips. Wants to stay in here. Doesn't want to go out of bounds. Wants to try to get an escape. He's got his arms clear. Now he's got to clear his hips and does a good job. Nice job by John Irwin getting that escape. Minute and 30 seconds left to go in the second period. Faking that high crotch shot, doing another fake. Doing a good job of circling, not pressuring into his opponent. Some hand fighting going on. For me, Irwin's height a little bit too high, wants to get down a level. And then when you level change, you're already down at your opponent's legs, and you can shoot right through, shoot behind, shoot around your corner. Instead of shooting from too high, you have a nice job getting to the outside single. Got to cover the hip here. Nice job circling to it. Wants to try to get his arm out and cover the hip. And they're going to call out of bounds. To me, that looked like 2, but didn't call the 2 there. Irwin did just what he needed to do. Needed to come around, cover the hip, try to get his arm out, his arm that's close to the body. Nice low leg single there right off the whistle, just as Demers did. So he's going to pick up 2 points here. And almost getting right to his back, but doesn't. Got to work up top. Can't stay down on the leg, so he's going to eventually have to work up top or he's going to get a stall call, and he does. So nice job. Again, Irwin, just a freshman, doing a good job of knowing to get up on top of your opponent. He's got a one-on-one, and I can't tell if he's going underneath for the half. Looks like he is, but I can't tell if he's underneath there. Definitely has a one-on-one on his near side. Irwin, as a freshman, asking a lot. Senior night, 34-28, close duel, and you're really asking for him to come out and not only win, but also to get a pin. So that's going to be Hollis-Brookline's choice to start the third period, 3-0 in favor of John Irwin. They're going to go neutral. Really nice low leg single in the end of that second period for Irwin. See if he can get to the leg attack again. Hollis-Brookline off the whistle. Kind of a weak shot there, and John Irwin doing a good job of getting his hips back. You can tell the duel's close when you look over to the Grizzly corner and you see all three coaches up. So they're looking for something big for John Irwin. Like I said, a big task to ask a freshman. And let's see if Irwin is up to it in his third period. 1 minute and 35 seconds left to go in the third period. Irwin's got to go big, feet to back here. Obviously you want your wrestler to win, but as far as a team, you need pins. Irwin doing a good job of getting to the headed outside single, and now he's covering the hip. He wants to keep his hips over his opponents, kind of walk through walk around, which he was. You don't want to get your opponent's hips up on top. So you kind of crack down on that leg, walk over your opponent, and then you try to clear your arm and clear the hip, and then work on top. Irwin faking a shot off the whistle. Hollis-Brookline also faking a shot. Just over a minute to go in the third period. Again, a Grizzly bench just offering some motivation to Irwin, just trying to dig deep here. See what he can do, see if he can go big. Getting down to the head, nice job snapping and spinning. That's going to be 2 points, 5-0, 40 seconds left to go in the third period. So again, team points here, need 6 for a win, or for a tie. And then it goes to criteria. I think it was an injustice that they didn't get the pinpoints in Rapazzo's match. You know, there's a stall call. I think that's about 10 matches too late, but that is what it is. Irwin, liking what I'm seeing in this match, wrestling really tough. Fortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to pick up the pin. I'm sure Hollis-Brookline told their wrestler to just, no matter what happens, don't get pinned, and that's what's going to happen here. So it looks like the duel is going to end, unfortunately, with 34-31. The swing point, like I said, the Gibson match was the big swing point. The non-pin at 220, the non-pin at heavyweight, and then the non-pin at 132 with Rapazzo. And that's what makes all the difference right there. And that's all it takes for the Grizzlies to lose that duel, 34-31. Thank you for tuning in. That is our last home match of the season. Goffstown will be in Concord for the Cap City Classic on Saturday. Next duel will be a week from today in Conval. A week from that will be senior night for Merrimack at Merrimack. And that'll be a closely contested duel as well. And then that'll bring us to the end of the season. We have States, Meet of Champions, and New England's for whoever forever makes it to that. So thank you all for tuning in for the season for the Grizzlies. Unfortunately, couldn't get a victory tonight on senior night. Grizzlies go down to Hollis-Brookline 34-31.